All right, so let's play the game today. Put a finger down. Put a finger down if your husband or your boyfriend has done something that has pissed you off this week. Put a finger down if your wife has said something that pissed you. Put a finger down if you had fights in previous weeks. Today, we want to talk about conflicts in relationships and how to handle them. Enjoy today's episode. All right, people, how are you doing today?
Hello, everybody.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we want to talk about conflicts in relationships and how to handle them. Let's be honest, everyone has experienced a relationship conflict or something that has pissed them in a relationship or something their partner has done, and they're like, come on, why are you this annoying?
Mm-hmm.
And for sure, with my relationship with my beautiful wife, as beautiful as she is, she can also piss me off. And I'm sure I've pissed her off a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about conflict.
As long as there are people involved, there will always be conflict. It's not even about relationship between lovers. There's conflict in the workplace as well. So I think this episode is very relevant because we're going to be sharing how we deal with conflict. And if you're someone that you're always fighting with people, like you get so angry easily, you're ready to put hot fire on your lips. I mean, fire is hot, hot fire
Like
on your lips. Like
double.
somebody has said one, you're ready with 10 to give back. This episode is for you.
But is there a world where someone can be so peaceful and that person would never have any conflict with any other person? Is it possible? Because I feel like there might be someone listening to us. I'm like, me, I never have any conflict. Or I'm a peaceful person. I am like nothing pisses me off.
Maybe we should define what conflict is.
Okay. So how would you define conflict? I can define it in my own way, but
I would say conflict is a situation where you you and someone don't see eye to eye on a particular topic or issue, and because of that there is a bit of friction, right? You have your opinion, this person has their opinion, and you cannot really meet somewhere in the middle. I would say that's a conflicting situation.
yeah. And I could just summarize that as a conflict is anything that disrupts peace.
Okay, now that we have gotten the definition, let's go back to your question. Is it possible for someone to live a life free of conflict?
Yes.
I don't think so. Except the person is living alone, like isolated. No, I cannot even imagine a life where you will agree with everything everybody apart from you says. Like, you don't have a difference of opinion, diversity of thought. You don't have that difference that makes you want to be like, no, how about we look at this from this perspective, and maybe the other person doesn't agree with you, and then you go into like this back and forth, which we refer to as a conflict.
Yes. So I agree with you. I don't see a scenario where even you are if you're the most peaceful person, and let's talk about it from even from the Bible. The Bible records Moses as I guess the meekest man on earth, and he still
Mhm.
had conflicts with people, with the Israelites. And you can be a peaceful person, but you can't avoid conflict. And the
Yes.
reason is because you're not dealing with yourself
Yes.
247. You're dealing with people, you're dealing with just different kind of people. And so that is why it is important to know how to handle conflicts when it arises
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't take you by surprise. If you claim that you never have conflict with anyone, it's one of two things. It's either you suppress your opinion or you just don't have your standards and you don't have your unique thoughts like you said, or you don't have your opinion about something. So if you don't have an opinion about something, you don't have the standard, then nothing disrupts that standard. Nothing comes against it. So
Mm-hmm.
you're like everything and anything goes. So you don't have conflict.
And there are people like that actually, because there are people who, how do they say this? Jejelayewa or
Yes.
something like that, right?
But then, yeah, there are people like that who like they don't take things to heart in that sense.
Yeah.
But what you realize is if you ask them some questions and really dig deep, you see that there's some form of offense, and people like that have a high likelihood of being resentful, but they might not talk.
Mm,
So you might see them, they don't have any fight with anyone, they don't complain about anything. But
mm,
if you go deeper and ask them and try to get the truth from within them, you discover that there's resentment within them about someone or about something, and they have something to say, but they just choose not to speak.
mm.
And that is also not the best case
Yeah.
scenario.
So let's talk about the two different, broadly speaking, the people who head into conflict in a very confrontational manner. They are
Yes.
the ones that are ready to talk. They are the ones that are ready to pour out their hearts about a situation like, I'm not happy with this. Yeah, you did this to me. I'm so upset. And the ones on the other end of the spectrum who are like, yeah, es ist mir egal. Like, whatever you do, it's okay. I would not really take it personal.
Yes.
Is there a way to find a middle ground? And how do you even think people come up with these styles of dealing with conflict? Is it something that is innate? Is that
Okay.
how you were born?
So, with the first category of people you mentioned, that is the people who would speak their mind. If they're in a conflict, they let you know what they think, what they don't like. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. I think there's a place for that. And with the second category of people that let things slide, that's not a bad thing, also, because that's a sign of maturity. As you mature, you get to understand that there are some things that you better let slide than confront or than talk about. You just choose to preserve your energy rather than use that energy and time to be talking about conflict. Just like, well, I don't have time for this.
Mm,
I'll just let it slide.
mm-hmm,
So there is a place for that. The issue about these two stands is when you take it to an extreme. So, for example, if we do have a conflict in our home and you always let it slide, like if I do something that you don't like and you never tell me, then I would never know. And if I never know what I do that gets you annoyed, I'll keep repeating it and you keep
mm.
getting annoyed even if you do not speak to me.
And then there'll be a day when
And then there will be a day when it's like I will just do the slightest thing, and you're like, you
explode.
see, that's why you're like this. The other day you do this. The other day you were like this,
10
and now
years
and
ago.
you're like, 5 years ago you did this, and I'm like, 5 years ago I did this. I didn't even mention it to me, and then you just explode, right? So
Mm,
that is where there will be an issue. And
mm,
on the other hand, if you're someone that at any just at any slight discomfort, you just blow up. You start talking. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? I don't like it. You just become so
mm,
confrontational and
mm-hmm,
just talking and shouting. That's also problematic because it shows that you are not, I mean, at least you don't have some level of control over your emotions. You need to just, take time, and give the allowance to people to mess up, give allowance to people to annoy you. And the Bible also encourages that, just give space, let people have faults, because if you look into yourself, you're not perfect either. So if someone has a fault, does not act well, give the person that possibility that, yes, you can do something I don't like.
mm-hmm.
So there's got to be a balance. You've got to know when to speak it, say the truth as it is, but say it with love, say it with respect, but say what you don't like. And on the other hand, know when to like let things slide,
Mm,
but make sure that it doesn't get to resentment.
yes. Okay, I agree with you.
But what are your thoughts about that particular question, just generally?
I do agree with you that it's important to kind of find a sweet spot where it's not every time that you overlook everything. Because, like you said, the person would not know that what they're doing is not nice if you don't speak up. But you also don't want to speak up all the time where it becomes like this person is just always nagging.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine being around people who always find fault with whatever it is that you're doing, or always have a difference of opinion, and they don't even know how to say it to you. It's not fun being around those kinds of people.
Yeah.
right? So I agree with you. But then I'm also thinking that is it possible that our personality shapes how we handle conflict? Some people are very outspoken by nature. Some people are very extroverted.
Yes.
Some people are very bold and confident and whatnot. And because of that, they are able to go into conflict regardless of who it is that they're dealing with. They could go into conflict with their significant other. They could
Yeah.
also go into conflict in their place of work, and then there are other people who are kind of like timid generally, they're avoidant in nature,
Yeah.
very introverted.
Yeah.
Given this difference in personality, I find that it might be difficult to find a middle ground looking at both not extremes more or less, but rather personality differences or
Yeah.
personality types.
Yes. I agree that different personality types would handle conflict differently. If you happen to be, like you described, a bold choleric or a sanguine, if I want to use that personality type, you would most likely be tilted towards being very vocal and, sharing your thoughts and, saying this is not what I like or this is what I like. But if you're a flag, like if you're more in the phlegmatic kind of personality where you're more withdrawn to yourself, you would most likely tilt towards people who would be more resentful than, you know, opening up their thoughts and opinions. So yes, your personality can tilt you to one side of the equilibrium.
Mm-hmm.
However, the principle of knowing yourself is very vital. I think it was Socrates that said, "Know thyself." So when you know yourself, you have to be in touch with your personality, know who you are, know how you react, how you respond. Also, being in touch with your emotions, know when you feel anger, know when you feel frustration, know when you feel resentment. And then next would be you have to, as an individual, have principles that you live by, and those principles will be your guiding lights with regards to the decision that you make. And
Mm-hmm.
this is what I mean. So you can be a sanguine, meaning you are the life of the party, and it means that you are more likely to speak and to respond or to confront conflicts in a more vocal way. But you also must have principles that guide your life. Take, for example, let's say you're in a relationship with your wife and there's a conflict. An example of a principle that you can live by with handling conflict is two people can't be hot, like on fire. So if there is a conflict between me and my wife, even though I'm sanguine and my wife is the one who feels annoyed, she's boiling, I must be cold. I must calm down, even though I
Mm-hmm.
want to speak. So that can be a principle that guides your decision.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't both be boiling together.
Mm-hmm.
So you are boiling now, I must be cold. I must quench that fire. We can't have both of us on fire together. So what happens is your principle will trump your personality response.
Mm-hmm.
The same way, if you are the one who is phlegmatic and you are more likely to avoid conflict, you can also have a principle: never go to bed angry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the principle that you have in your relationship. Never go to bed angry, never go to bed having this resentment in your mind. So even though you don't want to talk, you don't want to face the conflict, but because of the principle that you live by, you're on the bed with your friend or with your spouse or whosoever, you just know that I have to say this because I don't want to go to bed having this thing on my mind. So you have to push yourself to say it. Hey, I feel this way. You did this to me today. I'm not happy. I just want to tell you that because I don't want to go to bed feeling this way. So this is where principles would be what guides your life
Mm-hmm.
rather than just submitting yourself to this is who I am, this is my personality.
Mm-hmm.
But then one of the things I want us to talk about today actually is the skill of de-escalation. And what I mean is recognizing how to de-escalate issues. I will share a personal example that happened in our relationship, just for people who are listening to have more context and to understand. So, guys, if you want to just judge me now before I start the story. Just judge me now,
We
okay?
judge after we listen,
Yeah, you
please.
judge me now. So this beautiful Sunday, myself and my wife came back from church. We wanted to prepare lunch. So I saw that my wife. Why are you laughing? Why are you
I think
laughing?
I'm remembering the story.
Wait now.
Okay.
By the way, I didn't tell her I was going to share this story. So I saw that she was tired. So I told her, okay, babe, don't worry. Lunch on me today. I've got this. You just go lie down in the bed and chill. Leave me in the kitchen. I'm going to do this. So I went to the kitchen, started doing the stuff. I was to make a nice meal, by the way.
You don't want to say the meal?
Fried rice. Why are you laughing? So I wanted to make fried rice. Now, let me give a little background. When I'm in the kitchen, I am in the kitchen. I want to be the alpha and omega in the kitchen.
Just leave me at the
Just
altar. Leave me
leave
at the kitchen with my ingredients.
leave me. Let me cook from start. What you
Hey.
just need to know is I would say, babe, the food is ready. Come and eat. But my wife will not leave me in the kitchen. She would come and like, oh, okay, this I understand. Like from a okay, nice, you want to help me, you want to, but in the midst of helping, then she's not giving direction and say, do this, why don't you do this, why don't you cut it like this? Why does and I've told her before that, anyways. So I just want to give that background. So
Hey.
on this Sunday,
Go.
I was doing my thing. That's how she came and asked me, am I not using this thing? I can't remember what she asked me once. I was like, I'm not using that thing. Oh.
Spring onions.
Spring onions, exactly. So my wife came to. I've never cut spring onions in my life to cook. I've never.
And we bought the spring onions
Yeah.
for this reason.
Yes,
To put it inside
because
fried rice.
you were thinking that you were going to be the one to cook, but you see, I already interrupted
Okay,
my
sorry.
story.
I'm just giving more additional information.
Let me give this story to the end.
Okay.
So basically, she came and she started asking me about spring onions. I said, as soon as I saw her even come to the kitchen, I'm like, why is my wife coming now? Eh? Can you just cook? Can you go back and let me finish
This your story
my.
is getting too long.
Wait
Please.
now. So that she just came and asked me for spring onion. I said, I'm not using spring onion. I never use spring onion. Anyways, honestly, I can't remember all the details. I actually
Yeah, I
know.
can remember.
Wait. Just wait. Let me give the story.
Okay.
Then she decided to help me with something. And I think after she helped me or something like that, I was like, I will just be going, something like that. So I think I said something like, please just be going or just leave. After she just looked at me like, are you talking to me to leave or something? She said something. I said, leave. After my wife left me, as soon as she left me in that kitchen like this, after us saying leave, no leave, no leave, everything I was cooking just dabaru, just it was just nonsense. I just was cooking nonsense. And I was there. I was like, hey, Sunday after church when we just went to spend a great time with in the Lord's presence. Me and my wife now we are arguing. Anyways, I thought about it and I'm like, okay, I know. Maybe I should have just said it to her, like, okay, babe, thank you for helping me. Can you just leave now? But after, I was like, but I did not raise my voice. I just said it normally, you know. So I actually ate up my pride and I went to meet her in the room and I said, oh, babe, can you please come? I need you. And thank God I have a good wife. She responded to me and came, and then later we started talking up, then we kind of reviewed the whole incident and I realized that the reason why the seemingly little incident led to like a mini conflict, I would say, was because either I did not notice that I was supposed to de-escalate the situation or she didn't.
Mm.
If one of us had recognized that somebody needs to be calm so that the other person is heard,
Mm-hmm.
then there wouldn't have been any form of conflict that day. So the whole moral of my story is that since that day, I don't think we've had any. It's been a while, but we've not had any sort of situation where it was that kind of conflict or any issue
Mm,
in the kitchen, because we sat down and like, and then she explained to me actually why she always would come to the kitchen when time I'm cooking, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay, I get it. But I mean, but anyways, you must learn how to recognize,
de-escalate.
okay, now I need to de-escalate this. I need to
Mm-hmm.
calm down. I need to just be chilled. So
But I don't think that is very easy. It's easier said than done. It takes maturity. It also even takes humility too, because we all have egos.
yeah,
You cannot use your ego when settling conflict. It will not work,
yes,
because everybody will just go into defense mode, and then you will just be there back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, no resolution. Because I have my opinion, I have my ego, I'm right. You have your opinion, you have your ego, you're right. But when one person is humble enough to say, you know what, I have my ego, but I'm going to put this ego aside, I will humble myself and listen to you. I might even be right. But just because I don't want this to escalate, I will keep quiet and allow you to talk and have the final say. And I do believe that that is very difficult.
yeah, it takes maturity.
It and depending on who you're dealing with, right? There are some people who are always like, no matter who they argue with, they will never ever take the back seat. Never,
Mm,
never. No, they must win. They must always win the fight. And if you're in a relationship with someone like that,
it's
and
going to
you're
be
always the
difficult.
one humbling yourself, putting your ego aside, that it will get to a point where you are like, you know what, we will fight this fight today. It's
Yes,
my turn.
yes,
Emilokan. It
yes,
is my this one.
yes.
No, I
And
will.
it will be so dirty. It will be
Yes.
so nasty.
Yes, so that's why I wanted to say that it's not that easy. However, this is what we're supposed to do. But everybody needs to have this at the back of their minds that sometimes it's not about winning. It's not
Yes,
about coming up on top saying, okay, yes, I'm the
I'm
last
right.
man standing, I'm the last woman standing. Sometimes it's just to look at the situation and be like, okay, let this one just let it be.
Do I want to be right and lose this relationship,
Yes.
or just accept the situation as it is
Mm-hmm.
and salvage what we have, what we share?
Yeah.
Do I want to be right and my wife she's annoyed, she's
Mm,
not talking to me,
yeah.
although I'm right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do I want to preserve my ego and sacrifice a peaceful home or a loving relationship?
Mm,
It takes maturity.
it does.
And it takes maturity to know when to recognize that this is an opportunity for me to be the bigger person. And it's a tragedy if you're in a relationship or you have friends who are so egoistic and they are always
When you quarrel with them, there's no winning.
there's no, yeah, they
There's
don't,
no, you are the one that will always
will have to go back and
apologize. Yeah,
apologize and say and
it's
tell them.
nine.
It's draining.
It is draining. Yeah.
And everyone must actually embrace this mindset that I cannot be right every time. If
Mm.
you're someone who always thinks that you are right 100% of the time, just know that you are God already. Just take that God status because you are perfect. You are Mr. Perfect or
Mm.
Mrs. Perfect. But if you're someone that you are mature, you would understand that you also have faults. You understand that you also make mistakes,
Mm.
right? And you would not always have the last word.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes maturity to know when to say sorry.
Yeah.
It takes maturity to know when to lose an
But win the
argument but
person.
win the person.
Yeah. There's this principle of putting yourself in another person's shoes,
Yes.
seeing from people's point of view,
Yes.
because it kind of helps to de-escalate.
Yes.
And the question is always, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
Moving a step further, looking outside and be like, what is going on in this person's mind? Why could they be thinking this way? Why are they reacting like this? Why do they have this opinion?
Mm-hmm.
And imagine both of us. in our relationship now, we are
Yeah.
able to do that, where you are wondering what is going on with me, what's going on in my own context, and I
Yes.
am wondering what is going on in yours.
Yeah.
So this is like we are exchanging,
Yes.
and then you're able to see from my point of view and I am able to see from your point of view, and
Yeah.
then we can now put it on the table to be like,
Yes.
oh, I see what you mean, and
Yes.
you are like, yeah, I also get it.
Yes.
And then you see that something that was just looking like initially a mountain is not even that big of
Big
a
one.
mountain, because now you see what's going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we can put this principle to use, especially when we're handling conflicts with people, when we're dealing with conflicts with people, it will help. It will reduce the impact, the
Mm-hmm.
consequence, you know, and we would have better relationships, more or less.
Yes. You know, we can talk about this even in many directions. I feel like many people also find it very difficult to handle conflict or how to de-escalate situations because they've been they've been primed either by previous relationships or their kind of upbringing to believe that they can always have their way. And that's unfortunate because that is not real world. That is not real life. You can some people their principle is either my way or the highway.
Hmm.
That is like if there is anyone listening that has that mindset, I understand you, and with love and humility, I would say that's not the best approach to life.
Mm-hmm.
To always think it is either my way or the highway. No. What you would notice is that you would lose some real relationships in your life. People that would be there to help you or that would be there to improve your life, you would lose those relationships. And you might even lose the very person that maybe should have been your partner because you don't know how to let go.
Mm.
But it's never too late. You can always work on yourself. And that's what this podcast is about. When we talk about let's toast to life, it's not just about like, oh, let's toast to life and enjoy. If you've been listening to our podcasts, one thing that you would recognize is we're about self-development, we're about
Mm.
self-improvement,
Yeah.
and irrespective of the context, either we're talking about spiritual topics or we're talking about relationships or just general life application subjects, the goal of every episode is you're able to learn one thing or more that can help you be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think today's conclusion is learning how to handle conflicts. And the first is you can't always be right. You
You
can't
can't
you
always
can't
be.
always be right. And when you recognize that, then you can learn how to say sorry.
By the way, we're not perfect too.
No,
Like,
perfect. Ah,
we are on our
far.
journey of self-improvement, and we invite you to join us on this
Yes,
journey, right?
yes.
So we hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. You know those things that you do, on YouTube, you like, you subscribe, you share. Yes. So like this, share it with someone, and follow us on our podcast streaming platforms so that we are not always begging you every time to
If not,
listen
we
to
we will, we will
you will
beg
see us
you.
in your dream. Oh.
We will come to your dream.
You will see us in your dream. Oh. We'll be chasing you. If you don't want that, please do the
That
needful.
comment that you see as you listen to the episode, there are some things that were in your mind that you wanted to say. You wanted to why don't you just comment it now? Like just go and leave that comment.
Leave the
Leave,
comments. When you are nodding your head like, it's
mhm.
true, it's true. Tell us what is true, what is true.
Leave the comment.
God bless you.
God bless you as you do that. Thank you guys. I
All
hope you
right.
we hope you enjoyed today's episode. And yeah, don't forget to toast to life because life is for the living.
Cheers. Toodles.